Hey everybody, happy Halloween! I held off on this video for a month because I procrastinate daily, but also because I wanted to line it up perfectly to once again talk about one of the scariest things on the internet. Fandoms.
This is the Superman that we need.
It's not really a surprise that getting a bunch of people who are obsessed with the same thing together is a recipe for disaster, but oh boy is it my least favourite recipe. You had Doctor Who fans complaining because the Doctor barely had any emotions for 5 years, only to start complaining because he cried too much. Star Wars fans complaining that a man wanted to change his life around after the PTSD-inducing experience of being alive inside a creature's stomach as it tries to digest him and having to burn his way out. And MCU fans complaining that Kirk Lazarus is coming back because it ruins Tony's sacrifice or something. Meanwhile, comic fans are waiting until the next hero dies so they can be brought back to life in a horrendously stupid way, like Frank Castle being resurrected with supernatural powers and guns made in heaven. Online fandoms are designed for people to complain is what I'm trying to say. They're all obviously jokes, but I just know that intro probably made some people angry and that just proves my point. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt sometimes because a lot of the complaints they make are completely valid, but at the same time, a lot of them are some of the most stupidest, deranged, slightly bigoted takes I've ever heard in my entire life. I don't know how many times I've had Star Wars fans tell me to pull a Hannah Baker because I had the audacity to admit I actually liked the Book of Boba Fett.
Then we had to do some scenes like a bantha. Yes!
Because if there's a word the internet hates, it's subjectivity. If you like something someone else doesn't like, you're a fake fan who's probably being paid by the company. But if you don't like something someone else likes, you have no taste and your opinion doesn't matter. Star Wars fans have had a reputation for being complete degenerates for years now, ever since they bullied a child, bullied and harassed multiple actors, and also ruthlessly bullied the man who created the series to the point where he sold it. Star Wars Theory represents a lot of the fandom because he's the perfect definition of a man-child. Dude literally went on a whole rant about how the Empire wouldn't condone SA, because that's totally how fascist empires operate, isn't it? Doctor Who fans have a long-standing tradition of hating the current showrunner until the next one comes along for them to eventually hate as well. That gets pretty tiring after a while. And I'm not dick riding Russell, by the way. Both the recent finales were fucking dog shit. But having trash finales doesn't mean the whole era itself is also trash, okay? Most of Russell's original finales are very conflicting among fans. The dude literally made the Doctor into Jesus, but we don't shit on the era because of that, do we? Marvel fans are notorious for never being happy when it comes to movies or comics, but honestly, I can't really blame them for the latter. And of course I have to mention the certain demographic that come out of their sewers to call you woke for liking characters like She-Hulk, Captain Marvel, Ironheart, Miss Marvel, Shuri, Photon. I wonder why they hate those characters specifically. I can't quite put my finger on what they all have in common. DC fans are just as bad if I'm being honest, because a certain majority of them seem to hate everything that comes out recently. Superman fans are in a constant civil war about whether or not Superman should be a massive edgelord because Snyder ruined how half a generation sees this character. Then you've got the other end of the spectrum where you're not allowed to criticize James Gunn's Superman because it's a masterpiece, and if you don't like it, you're a horrible, ugly person.
I guess, but he does make good content. And Town of the Pound 69 says maybe do it with the camera off.
Batman fans are still listing characters he could beat in a fight, right before they start fighting amongst each other about which Batman actor is the best while leaving Val Kilmer out of the discussion completely, which is just wrong in my eyes. Wonder Woman fans have been gooning like crazy and also praying for a good adaptation ever since 1984 flopped. And I know exactly how they feel, given I'm a fan of the Dark Tower series. Being a Harry Potter fan has been extremely difficult for multiple fucking reasons over the past decade. Some of them feel the need to tell you what Hogwarts house they're in during your first conversation, like that's not going to make you think they're kind of insane. And then you got some of them blindly supporting J.K. Rowling because of a parasocial relationship they have with her for writing the series. If I mention my opinion that the movies are better than the books, I'm called media illiterate. And if I also point out that I buy every movie secondhand so I know Rowling's not getting any money when I watch them, I'm called a fake fan. At least I'm not supporting a fucking transphobe. I bought this in an op shop for one of my characters years ago and it still feels wrong wearing it. Every time I talk about these pieces of the internet, I'm reminded that there are genuinely fandoms for multiple school shooters, specifically the ones from Columbine. I really don't understand American culture, man. There's a certain celebrity whose name I'm not going to say because even the mention of her brings out her followers. They're honestly one of the most insane fandoms on the entire internet, so I couldn't do this video without mentioning them. And now I'm gonna move on before I get called a misogynist for not liking her. If this was one of those iceberg videos, now's about the time we'd be right at the bottom, because Reddit fandoms are just a whole different breed of insanity. r/falling in reverse users defend Ronnie Radke like their lives depend on it, which is just sad knowing he'd punch them all in the face if he had a chance. I don't really understand idolizing Ronnie Radke of all people when Chris Motionless exists, but teenage girls are persistent, I guess. Isaac Butterfield fans are notorious for feeling the need to constantly remind you that you're a snowflake in every comment section they appear in, while also complaining about feminists existing, so maybe it's a good thing their subreddit got privated. I'm still gonna make fun of them though. They worship a guy who criticizes trans people, vegans, and feminists, but can't handle it when Isaac himself is actually criticized, which will never not be hilarious to me. And of course we have to mention the subreddits that were created specifically for hating something, because that's definitely what a normal person does with their average day. Star Wars has a sub for people to complain about everything that isn't Andor or the prequels. Star Trek genuinely has a sub for people to complain about Star Trek going woke. What fucking timeline are we in right now? Because I want to go back. Game of Thrones has r/freefolk, where people still complain about the ending and act like the most pretentious people you've ever seen when House of the Dragon doesn't actually show a toddler getting brutally decapitated. There's like 1,000 influencer snark subreddits, and I genuinely don't understand why they exist. If you hate someone that much, isn't it just better to not pay attention to anything they do? Or is that just considered weird now? And pivoting back to another website before I finish this off, we're going to be talking about the Facebook meme group side of Fandoms. Star Trek ship posting, Doctor Who TARDIS posting, and Futurama Fry posting are considered the holy trinity of these groups because they don't act like they're all collectively insane. And I'm so glad I live in a world where Futurama fans are the most chilled out people on the entire planet. That just feels right, you know? I'm going to use Invincible Omni posting as a single example of all of these groups because I actually value my mental health enough to only look at one of them. It's got classic Facebook posts like rage baits, classic Facebook comments like these, and oh my god, what the fuck is happening, man? I just wanted to see Invincible memes. So I think that'll do it for this
Aren't you forgetting something?
Nope, don't think I am.
Well, what about this?
Ah, no, don't make me remember! I'm the man with the fire on his face, I'm insidious. Say I'm looking bad in my okay, you're delirious. Shout out to my family, you're the ones who'll be hearing this. Kinda funny how this all started just for band gigs.